This is Paul Drunk Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Mo. Won't shine himself. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know December 5th, Danny Garcia versus Errol Spence, Cowboy Stadium, pay-per-view. I'm happy about the fight, but also it compromises the fans because December 5th is also Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell. It's a big event, stepping on the toes of another big event. I don't like it. And boxing has momentum. Boxing has momentum right now. Every weekend we got a fight to look forward to. And I just don't think that a big event should step on the toes of another big event. But that's for another story. A lot of people feel that Errol Spence is going to beat Danny Garcia. A lot of people feel if Danny Garcia beats Errol Spence, it's due because of the car accident. Now, that's not fair. It's a lose-lose situation for Danny Garcia. If he beats Errol Spence, he's not going to get the credit he deserves. And you know what? Car accident or not, a Danny Garcia versus Errol Spence to me is still like a 50-50 fight. 55-45, right? Many people may disagree with me because there's a lot of people that says, what have Danny Garcia, or who has Danny Garcia beat in the welterweight division to tell you that Danny Garcia is going to beat Errol Spence, right? That his resume and his, highlight of his career is what he's done in 140 pounds. But is it the same thing when we talk about Bud Crawford? That the highlight of his career is what he did in 140 pounds, but then there's a lot of people out there that feels like Bud Crawford is going to beat Errol Spence? Kind of weird to me, you know? Yes, Danny Garcia has lost the big ones at 147. Yes, he lost to Keith Thurman. Yes, he lost to Sean Porter. But he lost to top guys in which he's coming in as the underdog. And the thing is, like I say millions of times on my channel, it's not about wins and losses all the time when it comes to me. It has to be with performances as well. And Danny Garcia, the way that he lost to Keith Thurman or Sean Porter, his stock doesn't drop. Is the reason why he's still in the same position he's at, or still in a good position in almost every belt federation there is in 147 pounds. Because his performances is how he lost. He didn't lose bad. Against Sean Porter, you could have it either way. He lost a split decision with Keith on top Thurman, in which I feel Keith Thurman gave it a boxing lesson in the first half of the fight. And Danny Garcia, for me, it was just too late for him to come back. And in that fight, I think he lost too many early rounds. But it's not something that, oh my God, Danny Garcia lost, that you look at, it's like, oh man, he cannot compete with the top welterweights. I believe he's one of the top welterweights, due also to the performances and how he lost and how he competed versus those gentlemen. So I'm looking at Bud Crawford. Who has he beaten in 147 pounds? If you're gonna take credit away from Danny Garcia, Benavidez, Jeff Horn. Now Jeff Horn gets all the respect that he gets just because he beat Manny Pacquiao, because his highlight of his career is the same highlight of Danny Garcia. Matter of fact, let me take it a step further. Danny Garcia 140 run is more impressive to me than Bud Crawford's 140 run. And I'm not trying to devalue anybody, because an undisputed is a undisputed. But his resume in 140 is a better resume than Bud Crawford. So why people feel, oh my God, Bud Crawford has a great chance in beating Errol Spence, but Danny Garcia is, oh, he hasn't done anything in 147. Bud Crawford hasn't done anything in 147 to actually put us in a situation and when we're like, oh my God, Bud Crawford is a force to be reckoned with in 147. Now, to me, that's narratives. In my opinion, at the end of the day, styles make fights, right? So let's look at the technical side of things rather than the narrative side of things. Danny Garcia is committed to his style. He's committed to his punches. Yes, he's flat-footed. He had changed that little flat-footedness after the Keith Thurman fight, he commits to his punches. You got an opponent that feels like Sean Porter, who says that Danny Garcia power is no joke, because Danny Garcia actually committed on his power punches. He's accurate he's accurate with his punches, with his power punches and his counter punches. So, but he's not very hard to prepare for. But the same goes to Errol Spence. Errol Spence fights one way. Now, if somebody want to debunk that for me, oh, he doesn't fight one-way punch. You saw him how he did with Mikey Garcia. Yeah. Mikey Garcia, yeah, he tried to box him around. He tried to, fight him on the outside as well. Errol Spence is a break you down fighter. He's not a guy, not a guy that's gonna hit you with that one shot and get you out of there. Now these guys, both of these guys fighting style, Errol Spence is gonna come at you. Errol Spence, if he gets hurt, he's gonna still come at you, because Errol Spence offense dictates his defense. Errol Spence stays in line. Danny Garcia could capitalize off dudes that stays in line. And I think it's going to be, I feel like both of these guys is going to get tagged. But I also feel that Danny Garcia is going to tag Errol Spence. It's a matter of time. If he can't put away a Mikey Garcia, I don't see him putting away if he can't put away if he can't put away Danny Garcia because of his performances. If we're gonna look at past performances and look at the Mikey Garcia fight, he couldn't put away a 135-pounder. Why would I think he'll put the guy that's regarded, having the best chin, one of the best chin in the sport of boxing, Danny Garcia? Is it gonna go to a 12th round? I believe so. Do I see Danny Garcia being stopped? No, because I never see Danny Garcia being stopped. I never see Danny Garcia being dropped. So for those who said that this is going to be some easy fight for Errol Spence, why? What gives you that indication? What gives you the indication that Errol Spence is just going to have an easy night? Oh, but he's just going to beat Danny Garcia. And Danny Garcia hasn't proven anything in 147. Let me tell you like this, I'm sorry. But to me, in my opinion, if that's the narrative, then Bud Crawford hasn't proven anything in 147 as well. He hasn't fought anybody that says, you know what, he's going to come as an underdog. Bud Crawford is just as good as Danny Garcia in 147. Yeah, I said it. He's just as good. If your narrative is that Danny Garcia, highlight of his career is 140. And again, that's the same thing that goes for Bud Crawford. Now, if Bud Crawford will fight the likes of Sean Porter and Keith Thurman to gauge how we feel about him really in 147, that may be so. But his losses, Danny Garcia's losses, comes in because he's competing versus the top dogs at 147, unlike a Bud Crawford. So, a loss is justified. I know what to expect from a Danny Garcia than a Bud Crawford. And I love Bud Crawford. If we're going to go technique-wise, I believe that Bud Crawford has a better technique than probably everybody in 147. Aside from Manny Pacquiao, because Manny Pacquiao is cement the legacy. And the way that he beat Keith Thurman, oh, he gets all the props in the world for being an undefeated champion in his prime, like a Keith Thurman. The thing that bothers me about the 147-pound is the narratives. And if you follow the channel, they'd be like, yo, Punch, but it seems like you go a lot for Keith Thurman when you're debating or when you're arguing about something. I'm going to tell you like this. The thing with Keith Thurman is I'm just leveling out the playing field. I'm just putting everything into perspective because I just feel like it's not a fair analysis. When it comes to Errol Spence, car crash, let's see what's going to happen with his car crash. And if he loses, it's about the car crash. But then when it comes to Kiefer Tom Thurman, it's not about, oh, let's see how he's going to come back from his injury. No, people don't want to give him that leeway. People don't want to give him. They boo Kiefer Tom Thurman. They didn't give a damn about his injury. They didn't give a damn about his surgery. So you know what? If a person don't want to give a damn about Errol Spence and his car accident, then nobody want to give a damn. So my thing is, let's level the playing field. If we don't care about when somebody has surgery or so when somebody's injured, then don't give me the sad story about Errol Spence as well. I don't want to hear about his sad story. He's good to go. He signed the contract. Let's go. You're ready. That's it. I think we all could break things down if we break things down unbiasedly, logically, and objectively. Unbiasedly, logically, and objectively. I respect that Errol Spence and his injury, he might not do, or his beard might not hold up. That's why we have to read. That's why we have to follow each journey. But I'm not gonna take credit away from anybody once they sign that contract. I'm not gonna take no credit away from anybody that signed that contract. We could come with that narrative, with any narrative, but I'm not gonna say that Danny Garcia, if he beats Errol Spence, it's because of the car accident. If he knocks out Errol Spence, I'm gonna tell you like this: Errol Spence, before the car accident, was already telling us that he was not focused and dedicated to the sport. I want to see where Errol Spence is at mentally, because yeah, anybody could fake us in a 8 to 10 week camp. Let's see. All these guys at welterweight at the top could beat one another, and no analyst could tell me otherwise. Nobody could tell me that a Ugas versus Porter, if Ugas could beat Porter, Ugas could beat Danny Garcia, Ugas could beat Crawford. I won't be surprised. I would not be surprised if everybody each other beats each other. I won't be surprised. Ain't nobody head and shoulders above anybody at welterweight right now, the top dudes. Sorry. I wouldn't be surprised. We could analyze it a little differently. A lot of them got different styles, but they all could beat each other. Nobody's head shoulders above anybody. But so let me know what you think about the Danny Garcia and Errol Spence fight. Let me get your technical breakdown. Why would you feel one will beat the other? I feel both guys can capitalize off both of dudes. I think both of them got grit. I think that Errol Spence shown his character and grit. That is, you cannot put him away. You're gonna have to kill him. The same way goes for Danny Garcia. His output, Errol Spence, is gonna be the difference between their fight. And that's what I think that loses fights for Danny Garcia. His output is too low. He started off too late. Errol Spence start off good, he ends good, and he just keeps on coming. This is not a guy that Errol Spence is not a guy that you want to take into deep waters, because he's just as good in the 10th round and probably stronger in the later rounds as he's shown us versus Kell Brook, as he's shown us against Sean Porter. He's going to keep on coming, and he's going to keep on getting stronger. He's not going to go away. And the difference also is that Danny Garcia gets stronger and stronger later on in the rounds. So it's going to be a good fight. 50-50 win is a 50-50 fight of me. None of them is like a head and shoulders above anybody, in my opinion. I got Errol Spence probably winning, but not to the point where I don't see Danny Garcia winning this fight. It's still a 50-50 fight to me. Let me know what y'all think. I love y'all. God bless. And on to the next.